What's up, guys, and thanks for tuning back into the Token Metrics YouTube channel. I'm Forrest, Senior Cryptocurrency Investment Analyst at Token Metrics, and in this video, I want to take a look at Bancor. And I want to look at some realistic price scenarios for where we could see BNT peak at this market cycle. But first, let's just zoom out on the chart of Bancor against the US dollar. And we can see here it's been in an uptrend, as has just about every cryptocurrency. It's been in an uptrend since the market crashed back in March of 2020. Now, we've seen this channel, this ascending channel start to form, where there's been periods of accumulation down here on the bottom trend line, and then there's been periods of overvaluation and profit taking towards the top of this channel. The top of the first peak, we were 572% overvalued against this bottom trend line. The second peak saw some decreased volatility to the upside, and we peaked at about 367% above the bottom trend line. But let's just say if the market peaked or BNT peaked in September of 2021, which is a reasonable estimate for how long this market cycle could last. It could last until July, maybe it could last till the end of the year, but let's just say in September, and then we can just do a 250% overvaluation against this bottom trend line, which would be in line with the decreasing volatility we're seeing. And we can just get a quick gut check, just a quick gut check, not a price prediction, but what's reasonable for where Bancor network could actually realistically go to this market cycle, and we get a $25.57 figure. Now, I want to run multiple scenarios that we'll get to. This is just a very back of the envelope napkin math way of saying, is $25 out of the question for Bancor network? It's not. I don't think it is at all, because that would be a 250% overvaluation, which would put us at the top of this upper trend line by sometime in September, and it would be relatively in line with what we've seen before. Now, if somebody wants to say, throw out some crazy numbers like BNT could go to $500, then we're just getting a little bit crazy. But gut check, $25, $26 is within reason. Now, I want to build some scenarios based on the DEX space as a whole. So Bancor is a DEX that has solved the problem of impermanent loss for the liquidity providers. We're not going to get into the technicals on that or the fundamental propositions there, but I do want to compare the market dominances, the market dominance of Bancor with the market dominance of several other big DEXs in the space or big competitors to see where Bancor stacks up and where we could potentially see Bancor network's dominance market share go. If you're not familiar with dominance, it's just market share against the total cryptocurrency market cap, which has recently been about $2 trillion. So right now, 0.0678% or so of that $2 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap is made up of by Bancor. Right? So we can see even with the dominance, we're getting this ascending channel pattern. And I've just created some scenarios based off of the dominance, the market dominance of these other DEXs in the space. So all this is saying is, well, what if Bancor's dominance dropped to the level of where Balancer is right now? That would be a 0.021% drop in market dominance. What if it was able to continue gaining market share to the point where it met or exceeded SushiSwap's market dominance, right? And then this 0.2% market dominance scenario is rather arbitrary, but it's at the top of the channel here. So this is just a bullish scenario of maybe Bancor network's dominance continues to trend in this channel, and towards the top it would be at a 0.2% market dominance. And lastly, what would happen if Bancor's market dominance reached or exceeded that of Uniswap? Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. But I think it's an interesting exercise to be able to not only understand Bancor, the size of Bancor's market share in this cryptocurrency landscape, but also within respect to the entire DEX market as a whole, and where Bancor is relative to the largest DEX, which is Uniswap. Now, this is the DEX space is a space that I see continuing to gain market share long term overall. I do think that Uniswap will continue to gain market share. I do think that SushiSwap and Balancer as well will continue to gain market share, as should Bancor as well. I'm rather bullish on the DEX space as a whole. So I do think some of these more bullish targets are quite reasonable for Bancor in particular. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and take a look at our total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios, which remain unchanged if you've watched any of the previous price scenario videos. But essentially, we just need to create some total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios so that we can throw everything into our matrix and find some price predictions. So you may have already seen this chart before, but I'm going to go over it for people who haven't. Essentially, the total cryptocurrency market cap, or all the money in the entire crypto space, has been growing at on a linear trend line on a logarithmic view, which means that it's been growing exponentially over time. Now, occasionally we go parabolic above this linear trend line and we see bubbles, market cycle bubbles. In 2013, 2014, we were 1,600% overvalued against this trend line. Back in 2017 and 2018, we were 2,600% overvalued against this trend line. And currently, we are on a bullish trajectory to hit roughly $5 trillion by maybe sometime in July in total cryptocurrency market cap, if not 10 trillion by the end of the year or so. If we were to hit $10 trillion in total cryptocurrency market cap by the end of July, we would only be 1,400% overvalued against the trend line here, which is within reason based on what we've seen historically. We would expect it to probably be lower than what we've seen historically. So I think $10 trillion is a reasonable bullish market cap scenario for the total cryptocurrency space. All right, so we've got our $10 trillion bullish scenario. We've got our $5 trillion scenario that we're headed right towards on this trend line by sometime in July, maybe August. And then we've got our more conservative $3 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap, which would see us maybe kind of peppering out and seeing a bit of a correction and some resistance as we get towards $3 trillion. Now, this screenshot does have the total cryptocurrency market cap at about $1.9 trillion or so. Recently, that has actually gone up to about $2 trillion. So we actually are trending ahead of this linear trend line, which is also very, very bullish. So let's throw everything into our scenario model and take a look at our total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios multiplied by our market dominance scenarios, and then we're going to divide by the total amount of BNT tokens in circulation, which BNT, I believe, is fully distributed, fully circulating, so that makes our life easy. We don't have to calculate any inflation rate. So in our most bearish scenario, we would have our more conservative total cryptocurrency market cap peaking at $3 trillion. And then our market dominance of Bancor dipping down to where Balancer's market dominance is currently. And that would see a bearish scenario of roughly $4 for BNT. Do I think this is going to happen? No, I don't. But I think it is a downwards parameter if, for whatever reason, Bancor's price and dominance does shift all the way back down and fall out of this ascending channel that it's currently in. I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility. So that serves as our lower parameter. If we look at our most bullish scenario, and I actually hesitate to even call this a scenario. I don't want, I included this more as a comparison than a scenario. This is if Bancor's dominance were to rise sharply to the size of Uniswap. And this is more just to respect the fact that the DEX space is actually quite large and it's quite competitive. I don't think that $471 for Bancor is a realistic scenario. So if you see anyone commenting below that $471 is crazy and not realistic, I completely agree. And they probably didn't watch the entire video. So this is just this entire row down here at this level of market dominance is really just a comparison to Uniswap that I think is actually pretty useful and interesting to look at. So I think our more bullish scenario or parameter would be this one, where the market cap, the total cryptocurrency market cap goes to $10 trillion, and our market dominance for BNT goes to 0.2%. That would yield a price of $115 for Bancor, which would be quite the run-up. It would be over a 11 or 12x from where we're trading at right now. It might even be a 13 or 14x, right? So that would see Bancor's market dominance rising to the top of this channel by the end of the year. And that would also require this $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap to happen as well, right? So that would be our absolute most bullish scenario and our top upwards parameter. Now, if you ask me, my most realistic scenario would personally be this one, $29, where we see a $5 trillion market cap and we see BNT's market dominance continue to creep up to a 0.1% market dominance. Right now we're currently at about a 0.07, and I'm personally quite bullish on Bancor Network with the developments that they've made, solving impermanent loss. I think that's a very big value proposition, and there aren't many other DEXs that have been able to do that as well as Bancor has done. So I do think that Bancor Network could continue to rise in market dominance and get to a point where it's as large as SushiSwap is currently at a 0.1% market dominance. So my realistic price prediction would be $29. Now, I have included the chart for this data. Now, I do recognize that this chart is difficult to read, so I have converted it to a logarithmic scale for easier reading. And this is just showing our most bullish $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario in green with our corresponding market dominance comparisons, with obviously this 0.82% being Uniswap as a kind of a functional comparison, not necessarily a realistic scenario, right? And then we've got our $5 trillion scenario in yellow and our $3 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario in red. So again, if you had to ask me, I would say $29 would be our realistic scenario for Bancor this market cycle, with a bullish scenario of $57, right? So $57 would be that we have a $5 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap, and we actually see Bancor rise up to a 0.2% market dominance towards the end of the market cycle, and either be overvalued against the top trend line or cresting and touching it towards the end of 2021. And then our bearish scenario, or my bearish scenario, would be $17, and that would yield that would be due to a $3 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap, and we would still see Bancor's market dominance continuing to rise from where it's at right now to 0.1%, which I think is very realistic. And I'm actually quite bullish on Bancor Network, so I do think that this is achievable for BNT. I hope this video was helpful, if not informational. Thanks for watching. Bye.